Hi everyone, this is Today in History. Today is Sunday, April the 14th, the 105th day of 2024. There are 261 days left in the year. On this day in 193, Septimius was declared Emperor of Rome by his troops, and he went on to found a personal dynasty and convert the government into a military monarch. On this day in 1471, the deposed and exiled King of England, Edward IV, defeated King Henry IV's forces at the Battle of Barnet near London, enabling him to retake the throne. On this day in 1828, Noah Webster published an American dictionary for the English language, based on the principle that word usage should evolve from the spoken language. The word was hugely influential, though it was initially attacked for its Americanism. On this day in 1865, just after the effective end of the American Civil War, U.S. President Abraham Lincoln was shot by John Wilkes Booth while attending a production at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. He died the next morning. On this day in 1866, Anne Sullivan Macy, Helen Keller's teacher, was born near Springfield, Massachusetts. On this day in 1902, American businessman J.C. Penney opened his first dry goods store in Kemmer, Wyoming. On this day in 1904, John Gielgud, an English actor, producer, and director, considered one of the greatest performers of his generation on stage and screen, particularly as a Shakespearean actor, was born. On this day in 1924, American architect Louis Sullivan, the father of modern American architecture, died in Chicago. On this day in 1939, American author John Steinbeck's classic, The Grapes of Wrath, which was set during the Great Depression and traces the migration of a Oklahoma Dust Bowl family to California and their subsequent hardship as migrant farm workers, was published. On this day in 1941, American professional baseball player Pete Rose, known for his all-around ability and enthusiasm, was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. On this day in 1952, American author Ralph Ellison published his debut novel, Invisible Man, a Bildungsroman that tells of a naive and idealistic young black man. It is widely regarded as a classic. On this day in 1986, a force of U.S. warplanes based in Britain bombed several sites in Libya, killing and wounding several of Muammar al-Qaddafi's children and narrowly missing Qaddafi himself. On this day in 2003, researchers announced the end of the Human Genome Project. Over the course of 13 years, they had successfully determined, stored, and rendered publicly available the sequence of almost all the genetic content of the human genome. On this day in 2004, Bartholomew I, Ecumenical Patriarch of the Eastern Orthodox Church, formally accepted the apology offered by Pope John Paul II in 2001 for the sacking of Constantinople, now Istanbul, by Crusader armies in the early 13th century. On this day in 2010, Eyjafjallajokull volcano in Iceland began sending ash plumes into the skies, disrupting air traffic for days across northern and central Europe. On this day in 2014, the Islamic sectarian movement Boko Haram kidnapped more than 275 girls from the boarding school in Chibok, Nigeria, sparking worldwide condemnation. On this day in 2021, American hedge fund investment manager Bernie Madoff, who operated the world's largest Ponzi scheme, died in federal prison at the age of 82. All right, everybody, that's it for today. Today is Sunday, April the 14th, the 105th day of 2024. There are 261 days left in the year.